So I think we can just jump right on ahead to the news. For many of you who don't keep up with cars, um, you might not be on the cutting edge of the car news, but for those of us who are, you've probably heard about the new Shelby supercars, or SSC as it's called, uh, Twitara. Has an interesting name. It's spelled Tuatara, and it's a really exotic, unique looking car. Um, I'll throw up a picture if I can find one. Um, but really, the company SSC has really only produced extremely fast cars. Now, I don't mean like produce extremely fast cars like Lamborghini only produces extremely fast cars. I'm talking about the only cars it produces are cars that are meant to break the world record for fastest production car. And so their latest one, which before the Bugatti Veyron Supersport was the fastest car in the world, production car in the world, the SSC Ultimate Aero TT. But now, after Bugatti broke their record, they said, we can't have that. And now they have the Twitara that is supposed to go 275 miles an hour. Now the Veyron does 268, and so 275 is really a huge improvement. It's only 7 miles an hour, but that's a big jump. I mean, a couple more 7 mile per hour jumps after the Twitara, and we'll hit 300. So that's the kind of the thing on that. The reason that I bring that up is um, the news here, for those of you who already know about the Twitara, is that SSC apparently is trying to use the Twitara to get into new markets they haven't had before. Right now, they're trying to use the Twitara to be able to sell it to people in China, which the Chinese government apparently doesn't like. So that's the news there. Just kind of give you a background information for those of you who weren't already familiar. Next piece of news, not terribly exciting, but Lotus is trying to kind of steal the show this week at Pebble Beach in Monterey by unveiling their new Evora GTE, which really looks really good. I can show you a picture right here. Find the camera. So as you can see, I mean, it's a pretty, I mean, I think it's a big step up over the S, and it has a pretty crazy amount of horsepower for a Lotus. It's got a 4-liter V6 with 420 horsepower, which is like I think a 50 horsepower jump over the next best, the Evora S, and it's a really lightweight. It's got like a racing transmission. It's really just a homologation car, so they can use it so they can use the Evora GTE in racing. And so they're planning to kind of steal the show at Pebble Beach by unveiling that pretty stunning car. Hyundai, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Genesis Coupe. It's one of my all-time favorite cars, top 10, top 15. Great looking, great price, great everything. Competes with the Mustang, and it's one of those pony car, competes with the Camaro, but it's kind of weird because it's Korean, and you usually think of pony cars as American, but I think it does very well in that market, and I would honestly pick it over a Mustang or a Camaro. But their new one, their 2012 Genesis Coupe, has a whole new look to it. And we don't have anything concrete. It's all just spy shots and cover-ups, camouflage and stuff. But based on what I've seen, limited spy shots, it's looking pretty cool. And there's rumors floating around. Now this would be awesome. That this year for the 2012, they're going to incorporate a V8 option with 430 horsepower and 376 feet-pound of torque, which that would jump up there to compete with the Mustang GT. So hopefully that happens, and hopefully the V8 version is just as good as the other ones have been. What else? Another spy shot thing. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Jaguar XKRS. It was on Top Gear a few weeks back, which I guess hasn't premiered in America yet. But really cool car. Has one of the coolest front ends. I'll pop up a picture there. As you can see, coolest front end. But for some reason, they made the back end look like a 98 MX-5 with a spoiler. So if they could only make the back end a little cooler, it would be one of the best looking cars because its front end is just stunning. Another thing, Ferrari has now come out and said, I don't know if you guys are familiar with, what is his name? The president of Ferrari, Luca di Montezemolo. But he's not exactly a quiet and reserved person. He's very outspoken, very opinionated, and very, very proud of the company that he's in charge of. And he's just came out and said that Ferrari, as long as he has anything to do about it, will never produce an electric car. But this is what I don't understand. Is immediately after that, he came on and said, but we will be producing a hybrid car. Oh, the reason he said that they wouldn't be producing an electric car is because he doesn't believe it represents an important step forward for pollution or CO2 or the environment. So a fully electric car doesn't help the environment. A fully gas car doesn't help the environment. But a hybrid of an electric car and gas car you're working very hard to produce so it can help the environment, that makes absolutely no sense. I mean, you can't take two bad things and put them together and suddenly it makes a good thing. That doesn't make sense. So I don't know what exactly he was trying to say there. I mean, maybe he probably just has other reasons for not wanting to make an electric car. Probably be too boring or too annoying, and just came up with some tree hugger excuse as to why they weren't going to make an electric car. Anyways, last piece of news, which I actually thought was really interesting. I know we've already talked about Lotus, but we're going to talk about them again. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Swiss Beats. He's a rapper. I don't like him very much. I think he ruined the song Fancy by Drake. Good song. Swiss Beats part was terrible. Anyways, he, interestingly enough, has been made a vice president of Lotus. Now, that's not even the weirdest part. According to the CEO of Lotus, Danny Behar. Um, listen to his description of this. He's a risk taker with considerable credentials, including music producer, rapper, designer, and painter. He's the perfect man to add to the Lotus lineup. Now, somebody tell me how being a painter, a rapper, a music producer, and a designer makes you the perfect man to be the vice president of a car company. I mean, if I was just going to pick 4 jobs and that made me a producer of a car company, then, I mean, it's just ridiculous. If you'd said he's a car fan, he's a auto mechanic, he's I mean, maybe the designer, maybe he's gonna help design the cars, but I I don't see how any of the other 3 things help him be the perfect man to add to the Lotus lineup at all. I mean, maybe he's gonna use his painting skills to tell the people what the best paint schemes are for the cars. Like, honestly, drop a comment if you can think of any reason why being a music producer, rapper, designer, and painter makes you the perfect man to add to the Lotus lineup. Um, anyways, that's all for the news. I kind of cut off on that Jaguar. Kind of went off on its thing. Uh, what I was gonna say about it is they new spy shots of the SKRS, looking pretty good, looking pretty cool. No really details on it. I don't know what's new about it, so I don't know why everyone's freaking about spy shots. But anyways, that's all for the news.